So Ice Spice has had one of the craziest years in music because she rose through the ranks so quickly to become one of the hottest new rappers of the year. And I mean, not only did she get people rapping along with her song, "You Thought I Was Feeling You, Baby Boy You a Munch," but she also got people dressing up as her for Halloween. But how did she go from being just another upcoming rapper to having the entire industry in a chokehold? What secrets has she been hiding from the world, and does her suspicious rise have anything to do with her beef with Drake? Okay, so I don't know if it's just me, but it's been wild to see Ice Spice grow so fast all of a sudden. And don't get me wrong, I'm certainly happy for her because I'm not a hater. But if we're gonna be honest, we have to admit that there is something kind of sus about her sudden rise. It usually takes people years to get to the level where she is, but it took her under a year. She first got attention when she did the Bust It challenge last year on TikTok, and it went viral. And that's when she decided to do some music, and since then her growth has been crazy. She got Drake feeling her song, and she had a collab with Cardi and made her debut at the Billboard Top 100, and she peaked at number 5. Now for an artist who has that much buzz on social media, I would expect her to have at least half the buzz in real life. I mean, we all know that social media hype doesn't always translate to real life hype, but at least she should have had some people who were just as hyped for her in real life as they are on social media. But this just isn't the case, because it looks like people really don't mess with her in music in real life, and the hype really ends on social media. For example, she had this performance in Houston, Texas. Yo, why the audience look so bored, like they asking her, "You thought I was feeling you?" But they just wanted her to be done and leave the stage. I'm not trying to be mean, but look at the audience is giving Z's, snores. Now the fact that these people don't mess with her at all like that offline, yet her song is everywhere, makes me think that she could just be an industry plant. For those of you who don't know what an industry plant is, I'm gonna give you the full breakdown. So remember when I said that it takes time for artists to grow and become famous? That's because they are trying to grow organically, build a fan base, and become superstars. This takes years and involves labels and management and companies investing a lot of money into the artist, with people helping them to build their image and their fan base in hopes that the artist is going to get big, and then the label and the management company get a huge return on their investment. So basically they pour their money into the artist, and this is a risk for them because sometimes they can invest in the wrong artist who they think is going to make it big, but they don't, which counts as a loss. But even if the artist does make it big, it's still going to take a pretty long time before the money starts rolling in large numbers. And this is where an industry plant comes in. An industry plant is basically an upcoming artist who has heavy backing from a label while they are still unknown, but they act like they are independent artists who are just lucky enough to make it big. But to break it down even more, a label finds an unknown artist, then invests in them heavy, helping them push their songs and build their image, but on the surface, the artist acts like things just fell into place for them by chance, so they can say that their growth was organic. Many artists have been accused of being industry plants, including Billie Eilish and Lizzo. One thing that they have in common is that they blew up and took the industry by storm with only a few releases, and then from there they became very popular. This is the case with Ice Spice, it seems, because she only has a handful of songs out, but she has already taken the industry by storm, which kind of makes me believe that she is an industry plant. And her song, "You Thought I Was Feeling You, Baby Boy You a Munch," didn't blow up by chance, as she claims. She had people pushing her and investing in her and all of that, and that's why she's been able to achieve what she has. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to trash talk her or say that she doesn't deserve her success, because I think she's actually pretty talented. I just don't think that she's been completely honest with us about her growth. But if you're wondering why a label would choose to have an industry plant, well, the reason is quite simple. Putting money into an industry plant comes with a significant lower risk than putting money into an organic artist who may or may not make it big. Having industry plants means that they are going to get their return on investment quicker, and for someone like Ice Spice, well, the label is guaranteed to make their money very fast. I mean, she first got attention from her sexy Bust It video, and she also has a lot of sex appeal if we're gonna be honest. And one thing about Hollywood is that sex always sells, and many female artists have resorted to this tactic to push their music. I'm not gonna mention any names, but I know we can all think of a few up-and-coming artists who have gotten rid of their good girl images and started acting sexier. Chloe, Normani, you know the people. But anyways, Ice Spice has constantly denied claims of being a plant. Like the time she said, "I know what it took to get me here, and I know how much work I'm putting in." I also feel like when they say stuff like that, they don't really mean it. I truly feel like they know I'm not a plant. I think they just say stuff like that because they're mad that I'm going up faster than their fave. If anything, I would say stream your fave more. I mean, if I were an industry plant, I wouldn't exactly come out and admit it either, because that just goes against the whole point of being an industry plant. Plus, there's another sign that points heavily to her being an industry plant, and that's the drama that went down between her and Drake. Oh, y'all don't know? Well, let me tell you. So Drake slid into her DMs to tell her how much he loved her song, saying, "That much and you're on the radar, freestyle hard as F, I'ma play them on our radio show." Oh. And I know he's singing just like that. This was a really big deal because we all know how Drake tries to give upcoming artists a hand up to start their career, and rumor has it that he was even looking at her to sign as an artist. They were spotted together in Toronto and it looked like they were having a nice time. But things got weird after that because Drake unfollowed her on Instagram. It's kind of weird how he went from telling her that he liked her music and flying her out to Toronto to unfollowing her on Instagram. And like I always say, when artists unfollow each other on social media, it means that there is some messy drama going on behind the scenes. So I think what really happened is that Drake didn't know about her being an industry plant or that she already had a label backing her. He flew her out to Toronto to convince her to sign with him, but he got mad when he found out that she was just an industry plant, and that's why he unfollowed her. Ice Spice, on the other hand, claimed not to know why he unfollowed her.
It's been speculated that Drake unfollowed you afterwards. Do you want to tell us some tea on that?
He did. I don't know why though.
Shame on you, Drake. Shame on you. You shouldn't have done that.
Sorry, Drake. You thought she was feeling you? Well, she just needed some lunch in Toronto. But the thing about industry plants is that they often have to put in a crazy amount of work just so they don't fall off. I know that all artists have to work super hard, but because industry plants didn't have an organic growth to the top, they often end up as one-hit wonders and they fall off as soon as they get famous. They rarely stand the test of time, so we're gonna have to keep an eye out for her to see what she does next. Someone commented, "She ticks all the boxes for mainstream media promotion these days. Talent is not required, just the right appearance and willingness to bend to their request." I mean, I think that might be a stretch to say that she's untalented because I kind of think she is, but I totally agree with the part about her having the right appearance and the willingness to do whatever she's asked to do. Another person said, "Drake unfollowed her because she didn't meet expectations." And this other person commented, "Spice blew up out of nowhere. Everything about her is manufactured and supported by the industry. She's playing in easy mode with cheat links." And I have to agree with this last comment because listen, baby girl is finessing the normal system. But how is this going to work out for her in the long run? Is she really going to manage to make it work, or is she going to be yet another one-hit wonder? Only time can tell if they feeling her. But in the meantime, y'all check out this other video.